This is how you know it's really hot in PA. I just pull my car out of the garage and immediately everything steams up. So my garage is basically air conditioned, and when you pull out, all the humidity in the air immediately just attacks the car. It's freaking crazy. It's basically like 100 degrees here with 100% humidity, so it's really not comfortable. Welcome back to Horsepower Obsessed. Today we're taking the brand new ZR1 up to Blackout Tinting in Latrobe to finally get some clear bra on this thing. Alright guys, so Blackout Tinting has decided to basically sponsor me, and since they've given me a really good rate on actually getting the car expelled and tinted. So we're heading up there now to get some of that stuff done. Obviously, I want to protect this car. This is definitely an expensive car, and it's likely to not lose much value, maybe even gain some. So I want to try to keep it as nice as possible for as long as possible, and that means clear bra. I have them scheduled right now to do the whole front bumper, splitter, side skirts, rocker panels, all the way up to the rear quarters. Those are the areas that really get beat up on the Corvettes, so I'm getting those areas covered first, then I'll be back later to have some more work done, such as covering the fenders and getting some ceramic coating done as well. But for now, I'm just gonna cover the most important parts, make sure everything's good to go there. That way I can actually drive the car and not be terrified of getting it rock chipped. I'm gonna head up there now, and I'll meet up with you guys in a second.
5 minutes later.
This is a pretty good indication that you're dealing with a company that knows what they're doing with nice high-end cars. Right in the front here, we have a Jag, the owner's Lamborghini, and a Land Rover. All right guys, here we are, Blackout Tinting. You can see all the cars back there behind me. I'm about to go in and actually talk to the manager here and get this whole process started.
The Blackout Tinting mascot.
So here we actually see some of the tools used at Blackout Tinting to cut some of the XPEL film. A lot of it's cut with a computer. They feed it through what looks like a giant printer, and it actually cuts the pieces of the clear bra to fit the car perfectly. You can see some of the designs in the image here, actually showing the rear quarter panels, and this is the printer actually cutting it as the owner Josh then cuts it off and starts pulling off the excess garbage pieces of the actual XPEL film. One of the first things they did on the car was actually cover the headlights with the XPEL film. You can actually see him spraying the gel solution on to the back of the XPEL to allow it to sit and be rearranged on the headlight before he starts squeegeeing out any of the solution from behind. The gel solution they use actually allows the XPEL film to be moved around and placed in the appropriate position before squeegeeing any of it out to kind of lock it into place. Here's the owner, Josh, again, touching up some of the tiny rock chips I got in the process of actually trying to get the car to them to get everything fixed. I gave him a tube of touch-up paint. I assumed they would be a little bit better at getting those tiny little spots touched up than I was, And you can see here, he's definitely taking quite good care of it to make sure that everything's filled in and looks appropriate. I definitely appreciate the work they put into this car, and you can tell just by the look on his face, there was determination to get those spots perfect. Here we have him spraying some of the solution on and doing the rear air ducts on the Corvette. And again, he's spraying on that spray gel solution and then working everything down into the actual carbon fiber weave. He also does the lower portion of the ducts and again squeegees everything out to lock it into place. Here he's starting the rear quarter panel, which is actually the largest single piece of XPEL he used on the entire car. Again, you can see him going with the spray gel solution, really trying to get everything situated, shifting everything around, spraying some more, shifting it around, spraying some more, until it gets to the point where that thing is actually perfectly in place. He can start then squeegeeing out the excess gel solution and getting the air bubbles and dirt and everything out in the process. As you can see with anything like this, the majority of the work is prep and getting everything into place. Once he starts squeegeeing it out, it goes pretty quickly. And here again, you can actually see him squeegeeing it out over the actual lip of the rear fender. That's where the XPEL film is going to end, and he's going to squeegee from the top down, of course. So this is the final bit for the rear fender. Now you can see him hitting it with the heat gun, again, just to kind of lock everything into place. After everything's squeegeed out, they hit it with the heat gun to help dry it, help work down some of the corner edges, again, just to get everything in place. In this shot, he's actually putting the circular piece of XPEL on the actual gas cap. This is all one piece with the fender as well on the driver's side due to it having a gas cap. Here he is starting the passenger side rear quarter panel, pulling off the full sheet of the actual XPEL from the backing paper and doing it while it's on the car to lessen the amount of debris, dust, whatever it might be that could get in there. He sprays it down with a massive amount of solution first, then starts pulling it out, and then he starts squeegeeing everything out after he gets it into position, which again locks it into place and allows him to squeegee air bubbles, dust, anything that might have gotten in there behind it, so it really looks like a clean install when it's done. Again, we can see him squeegeeing the rear quarter panels here, getting all the air bubbles out down towards the bottom lip of the rear fender. And then finally getting the excess leftover pieces on the rear passenger side fender and tucking them up under. To avoid any kind of lines or anything in the XPEL, tucking it under the fender anytime they can is the best way to do it. Here he's doing the side view mirror. Of course, this was one of the most impacted areas on a C7 Corvette. And again, just spraying a lot of that gel solution, squeegeeing out the bubbles, getting everything locked into place. Here he's actually putting on the XPEL over top of the brake ducts in the back of the car. These are notoriously beat up on a C7 Corvette, so getting these covered is definitely a good first step. Again, he's putting it on the same way with the spray solution and squeegeeing everything out. Now we see him actually covering up the entire rocker panel as well. This is really an angular and squared off almost kind of position of the car, so it's a little bit difficult to get a squeegee in there and really get everything out. They did a fantastic job though. I noticed no air bubbles in that area. And here he is working on the front splitter on the bumper. and actually working into the front bumper as well, completely covering the front bumper as well as the front splitter and all of the aero pieces. Again, pretty angular up there in the front, so I'm sure this was not easy, but it's awesome that it's fully covered now. Now jumping into the hood. The hood is the second largest piece of the XPEL, but it is cut down the middle, so it's not necessarily one giant piece the way it is in the rear fenders. You can see them spraying the solution on and then squeegeeing out the same as everywhere else. And here's one of the other workers actually working through the hood, which might make it a little bit easier. Now we're moving on to the actual window tint. This is the owner, Josh, tinting the rear quarter windows, and then moving on to the actual side windows, which were probably tough, but this was XPEL's top of the line tint that actually is ceramic to keep heat out. Then ultimately they washed the car, cleaned everything down after getting the actual XPEL on, so it was ready to go. This was really to check for defects in their job, as well as having the car look good for me whenever I went and picked it up. There she is, boys. We're gonna go in, talk to the owner, Josh, here in a minute, and have him go over the car with us, but she's looking good. All right, guys, this is Josh, owner of Blackout Tinting. He has done my cars in the past, but this is the first time I've had him do any kind of paint protection. And I'm gonna let him go over the car, tell you what he did and how hard it was, I guess.
Cool. So the real challenge with this car is it's black. We do a ton of Corvettes, but jet black is always tough to get perfect, but we got it really, really close. So we did the front bumper. We protected this with XPEL Ultimate Plus. We did the headlights. We ended up doing the full hood as well, and the carbon inserts in the hood. We did all of the aero package on the front, all the carbon fiber stuff, including this outside piece here. So that's all protected. We did the rocker panel piece, so that includes the black piece that goes there all the way to the back with this trim piece. The trim gets covered as well as the carbon side skirt. We did the entire rear fender, which that helps a lot if you know Corvettes at all, you know, especially Z06s and things. This area gets beat up really, really badly. So we got that taken care of. We also did the carbon accents on top of the fender, since that's part of the XPEL rear fender kit. We did the mirrors as well. I think that's everything. We did ceramic Prime XR. It's an XPEL product designed to keep a lot of heat from coming into the car, keep you a lot more comfortable, help the AC run more effectively. We did a 20% film all the way around, and on the back we have the Corvette flags up on the top, and in order to get the tint to lay down in there a little bit better, we did a vinyl piece to sort of mask that. Tint has a tendency to not want to stick in between those flags. Vinyl does it a little bit better.
It definitely looks good, Josh. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing it up.
All right, guys, so we just got back from Blackout Tinting. Everything on the car looks great. The tint makes the black car look fantastic. And now the clear bra. Done very well on the front bumper, the side skirts, the quarters. Everything is protected now, and that's awesome because now I can actually drive the car and feel like I'm not destroying it every time I take it out of the garage. Definitely want to give a big thumbs up to Josh over at Blackout Tinting. He definitely hooked me up. And we're gonna be seeing a lot of him on this channel, I have a feeling, because I'm gonna be taking my truck up there, my wife's car up there. We're gonna be getting all these things protected and detailed. Definitely go check them out, guys. Blackout Tinting, they're in the Latrobe, Pennsylvania area, so if you're around that area, definitely hit them up because they do fantastic work. And if something isn't quite right, they will fix it without fighting you and all that craziness. If you're in the area, check them out. Even if you're not in the area, they do have a YouTube channel. It's also called Blackout Tinting, and I will link that in the description down below. They're gonna have a little bit of the process of what they actually did with my car, as well as some of the footage that they sent me to put in this video. Give them a subscribe if you feel so inclined. They have a bunch of nice cars up there on a regular basis, in and out, so it's kind of cool to see some of the stuff that they work on. But anyway, guys, if you liked what you saw, give me a big thumbs up. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot them in the comment section down below or email me, horse.power.obsessed@gmail.com. I'm happy to hear from you, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't yet, and as always, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.